Hello, my beautiful peasants, and welcome back to the tavern. We have a really cool sculpt today. I am super excited for it. And I have some pieces that I could use that would be cool, but we're gonna be doing it from scratch. Unless I hit a huge roadblock and I'm like, I need moral support, then I'll probably grab something I've made before. But until then, I do want to see how much this I can do just from a sphere and kind of winging it. I forgot to listen to music when I stream. I was like, there we go. Where is my music head? As far as what's on the screen now, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I'm doing something that you guys have asked for literal months. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Also, peep that adorable yarn ball on the base. Shout out to Ray for mentioning I should do custom bases for the tavern cuts, because that's what I'm doing. Also, that yarn ball was way easier to make than I expected. I don't know why I was like gathering references and I'm like, it just tubes me and you can do it. Oh goodness. Currently my favorite playlist on Spotify is Mirth and Mayhem Chapter 2. Absolutely fabulous. And there's no vocals. If I have people talking or singing in my head, I cannot focus. I love when things work. Awesome. I did not eat breakfast today because I just didn't want it, which means I will take slightly longer breaks during the stream to, you know, eat and stuff. Who do we got in here? Of course, Otaka, who is the lovely patron requester slash friend at this point. Thank you. This is gonna be great. We also have Pete, hello, Ray, and Jaslingle. All right. I don't know how you don't sing listening to music. They answered that. Yeah. All right. Shake my shoulders out here. Think about what we're gonna be doing. I don't show a lot of it on stream, but I always stretch like my whole upper body before I sit at a desk for hours and work, and you should too if you're doing that. Especially just like basic finger stretches. I always take my hand, like gently push this way, and then each finger. Obviously I do it a lot slower than that, but I highly recommend it. And then just like general wrist strengthening exercises. It's things you don't think about as an artist, but if you don't, you'll pay for it later. So take care of your body. Hello, Mikeys. Why are we yelling? Bat dragon. Yeah, I keep calling it bat dragon. Upon looking at it, it's definitely a wyvern, but I'm not going to change it because nobody searches wyvern. Dragon's such a more catching word, you know. Bat dragon. Yeah. Ray says, I hunch over my chair cross-legged. Oh my god. That's terrible. Oh my god. They make a funny chair for you that you might like. It's a fortune though, so. It's like a weird little swivelly stool thing. Yeah. What is this? It's like a circus. I like it. Okay. We're gonna do the thing. Yeah. A what chair? It's like a weird... I meant to Google weird artist chair and I bet it'll come up. Nope. It did not come up. Oh, it did. Ha ha ha. Or something similar. Apparently tattoo artists use it. New chair. Yeah, it's like they sit on it backwards. It's not quite that. Anyway, it's like a chair that has like little sections you can flip up and flip down. So if you want to sit cross-legged on it, you can. Alright. Enough about the chairs. Literally sitting like Elle from Death Note. Ah. Love me some Death Note love. Death Note is one of the few anime that I have watched all the way through. It's too bad there's only one season of Death Note. No, I'm kidding. The second season was fine. There's just certain characters I feel like are the show, and when they're not there anymore, if someone whines about spoilers, the show has been out for like 20 years. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, we can get working now. Be gone. Beep. Beep. Excellent. All right, this is what we're making today. I'm very excited. We're gonna tackle it the same way that I do every single sculpt, which is we're gonna blob it out and then we're going to zero in on specific pieces. I'm very excited about the head more than anything. This is kind of like, again, undead, so there's flesh falling off of this as opposed to it being like a skull hat and then a jaw. I might go for more of a skull hat approach just because I think bat skulls look so cool. So yeah. I will also be sculpting this somewhat posed. Interestingly enough, Ray did a project working on a wyvern for a long time, and it is so difficult to proportion wyverns, and they look really dumb unless they're existing in a scene. So I'm actually going to sculpt this posed. Symmetrical, because I'm not totally crazy. But yeah, what is this? Skull. It's like hanging from its neck and then... Anyway, all right. Go away. We'll do a little close-up of the reference board that I have gathered here as well. How many times did I miss that corner? There we go. So yeah, I grabbed a bunch of bat heads, some wyverns, things that I thought felt similar. I especially like this one for kind of just like movement purposes and proportions as well. That was a really nice one. I think it's an easy pitfall to fall into, that when you're sculpting something, you look for references of exactly what you're sculpting. So most people, they're sculpting like a Terror guys from Warhammer, something inspired by, that would be their whole reference board, but it's in fact a wyvern bat wyvern. So I mostly have bats and wyverns than anything else. It'd be a good time. That's such a cool pose already, by the way, isn't it? It's so good. It's so good. But I fear the Warhammer universe. I don't want to get smited for making a creature that's even remotely related. So changing the pose, we're gonna do that. Hello, Aloha. Hello. Absolutely, Ray. This is such a good one. Such a good one. All right. Yeah, step one, blob it out. Step two, make it cool. Pretty much. Damn, you guys are all professional artists now. Step three, cry. Oh, now we're really professionals. Good job. All right, I've got a kid laughing. It's time to start. Where is my x-axis? What's happening? Is it this way? No. Me floundering in space. What's going on? There. If you hold Shift and P, it will toggle the floor. So if you get disoriented like I just did and don't remember what up and down is, that will tell you the floor is down. All right, we'll start with this star today because I don't know, I'm feeling different. We're gonna use snake hook. Again, if anyone can figure out how to stop ZBrush from doing these pop-ups of like, this brush performs best with Sculptris Pro, this brush performs, it drives me fucking insane. Like I use ZBrush every day and I've done it for years. So these pop-ups like incite pure rage. I don't know, I do know why. I hate being repeated information. I don't like when the microwave beeps. I know my food is done. I told you how long to do it. Anyway, but seriously, if you guys know how to make this stop, please God, skip note until next restart. My only solution currently is just to open ZBrush and never close it, because if it never reopens, these messages don't refresh. And no, it's not the only message. Every time I change my masking brush, it does it too. I wonder if I could do a macro to like trigger that and do that for me. I have strong feelings about this. Okay. 15-minute blob. Starting with some spice. I really hate it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wait, there are steps before you cry? I mean, you can do a little cry sandwich. That's fine. Is Warhammer big on copyright stuff? Yeah, isn't that Games Workshop? Isn't that what owns that? Or am I being totally daft right now? I never use that word. Daft. Okay. 15 minutes blob, let's go. I'm gonna jump into the mod chat in case Aloha needs to tell me something is burning down. Otherwise, be good peasants. All right, snake hook, Sculptris Pro, let's go. First thing we're gonna do is make the head blob. I'm feeling a little quieter today. Literally nothing is wrong. I just haven't eaten yet. So I just don't have fuel. That's it. Okay, starting with this sphere, starting with the star instead of the sphere, it's actually really fun. I've been doing this for a long time, so whenever anything is different, I'm like, ooh, different. I kind of want to like give him like a funny little tongue, like, but I don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. We do need to give him little spiky teeth in this block out, otherwise I'm gonna not remember what's going on. All right, so most of these references have an overbite, and I'm gonna trust these artists that did this and painted this and know more than me. So I'm gonna also give mine an overbite. I'm gonna stretch that face out even farther. Yeah. Let's rotate that ear. I'm just gonna mask it and cute. That's kind of a fun rhythm we can find here, huh? Oh yeah. I'm kind of happy that this model is already looking cool or like anything, because I don't really have the, I don't know. I don't have that fight in me today. I'm just like, you're gonna behave and we're gonna have a good day today, ZBrush. I feel like that looks like something. Neat, that's a lot better of a blob than I needed to do. Okay, next part. We're gonna append another star, because I don't know, that was really fun. We're gonna flip it like this. All right, and we continue. All right, so this back spine arch thing, you actually see in a lot of these references where the head is at, it's always level or lower. And again, I'm just gonna trust these artists and these references that probably know a lot. Why reinvent the wheel? So we have a arch right here. This is gonna, I never know what to do with like dragon butt, wyvern butt. It's just like an odd, like the toad we did yesterday, I had no problem with it. With lizards, it's just like, I don't know. I just really rely on the tail to kind of sort that out for me. Okay, very good. That's a start. I'm gonna duplicate this because I love the idea of having the spine kind of its own piece. It'll be nice to work with. I'm kind of breaking my rules a little bit here. Usually when I use Sculpt Pro, I don't really use multiple subtools. But you can. You can do whatever you want. All right, we're gonna have this low spot for embezzlement. See, that grabs my attention. If you guys give me money, it's a giant colored blob in the chat that takes up real estate. Thank you, Just Single. I super appreciate it. To be embezzled. I promise we'll actually, well, I don't promise. I think we're gonna have wheel spins and stuff that come back. But for now, all donations are purely to be embezzled. Thank you. I didn't give this guy a neck. I gotta have that. So I'm going to move this body back a little bit, move it higher because it's already, I really want to make the creature like this. It's just kind of how I do things and have him like his wings up. But that's not what we're doing. All right, we're going to duplicate this. I'm going to select just the body and then this will become the neck. With symmetry, please. I do like giving him like this weird like gizzard almost. It feels kind of like the, I don't know, I just like it. Like a little dingly head. I just think it'd be cool. Cool. I think this this body's gonna be stubbier and weirder than I think. That is my prediction. Okay. Let's grab this section here. And you can tell I'm just duplicating the body over and over again. And then we'll have this awesome tail. And then I'm pretty much right away going to pose the tail because I've done this game where I'm like, oh, I'll just make it straight and then I'll pose it later. And yeah, it's fine. But you know what's better? Getting your concept down first. So we're gonna make this tube right here. And then I'm going to throw on my 3D gizmo. I click on W to switch to that. Grab this little gear and then bend curve. This beautiful little orange cone will give you more nodes to play with. More nodes, more move. You want less move in the beginning, then more move. It's the same, it's honestly, that is just sculpting. That's art in a nutshell. Always less of everything until you have to. Less polys, less move, less everything. Very simple. I do like that this tail, it's kind of looking like a rat right now, and I like that. Because this is going to be a monster sculpt, I don't care what's going on with the feet. If I need to put rocks and give him like a diorama-like piece, then that's what he gets. All right, we have a tail. It's ridiculous little skinny body. Let's fix that. We're going to taper the neck. Let's bring that in. So I'm kind of like finding the pelvis here. And then the rib cage. Rib cage will be like, wait, I can't do rib cage when I don't even have legs. No. Less shape. Okay. So he's not going to have front legs. Those are going to be wings. But he will have back legs. And I know these are going to be a problem. All right. Well, how did you guys solve that problem? It's kind of like a normal back leg. Okay. We'll see. If it looks really stupid, we'll just pose them so you can't tell. All right. I'm going to change my curved tube brush to once Z so it doesn't like glue to the body all weird. And we're going to do one little line just like that. And then I'm going to use Sculpt Pro to kind of like make it blobbier. And then I'm going to taper it. When in doubt, if you really are like trying to design a creature and you can't figure anything out, 1, join the club. 2, just make tapered triangles. Just make a tapered triangle. Trust me. And then keep going. Don't do this tube thing and then build your whole thing with a bunch of tubes. I mean, you can, but it's just like, it's so much more work. It really is. Just, it's got to end up looking like a tapered triangle shape anyway. Just do it now. And do it from both angles. Don't just do it from the side view. It is a 3D object, I know. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna look at a reference here. Where's a leg? That looks very leg. Flip it the other way so I don't have to translate the reference in my head at all. All right, so we have this tiny little section here. Now I'm gonna duplicate this. Did you not duplicate? You didn't. Command-Shift-D for duplicate. There is a button on your UI. There's always a button on your UI. You never have to use hotkeys if you don't want to. All right, there we go. Again, see this taper triangle thing? Looks so much better. All right, there. This is gonna be pretty bent up, I predict. So I'm gonna make this parallel to the ground when in doubt. Try not to make them too extended unless you know what you're doing. Just crunch them up. Duplicate again. And as far as if you do it like this or like this, I usually keep it like fat to skinny, fat to skinny. Yeah. There we go, little hind leg business going on. And this is the worst part. I have to figure out a foot of some sort. If you're like, wow, this is looking like something, Mia. It is, just you wait. I didn't have to make feet yet. Feet are so cool. They really, detail that it adds to a model without you expecting it to. It's good stuff. All right, we're gonna scrunch this up and then we need to block out a foot of some sort. I'm gonna bring in my star for emotional support and interesting shape. Bam, what a nice foot. This star thing is really working actually. Okay, I'm gonna use knife rectangle and chop off the back and chop off the bottom. Honestly, I've made feet that look worse. Is there a better name for this than star? Is this like called something? That's totally a little foot block out. Fuck me, I love that. Okay. The magic of star. Amazing. Okay. Mirror and weld. Where did it go? Why did you do that? Ew. All right, I'll mirror it, then mirror and weld. Okay, we're gonna not worry about the foot right now because I'm obviously having an issue with how close together this is from the center line. There we go. All right, we got these legs. I'm gonna stack them out a little bit. Squish this, move the foot over, stack it out. And then mirror and weld. Neato. These look a little bit like adorable duck feet, but again, for the effort, which was none, I like them a lot. Cool. Our little angry Batman is looking really cool. I am extremely pleased with this for under 15 minutes. Oh, he's so cute. Doesn't look like he's crying more than being mean. We'll fix that. All right, now for the main event, which is wings. But first, I feel like I need to make room. These are kind of a weird spot, aren't they? I need to get in there. Okay, that's gonna do some weird pelvis stuff. And I'll probably have a bone showing. See, I get to this like wyvern butt and I don't know what to do. That's like a really common thing that kind of, I don't know. All right, that's good enough. Come back up here, look skinny, look dead. Cool. All right, wing time. So this reference is one of my favorites here for this wing, but we're actually gonna have him somewhat bent up. I need to have an arm part and the wing part. So I think it's gonna be like from here to here, so make normal arm stuff, and then from here to here, pretend that my hand is slid down to my elbow, and that's how we're gonna get the like webbing and stuff. So that's how I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna have arm, wing. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna do it without symmetry because symmetry annoys me when I'm working on appendages. Yeah, that looks like something. We'll smooth it, make it into a, you guessed it, rounded triangle thing. Just nothing in nature is a perfect tube. It's just not. So don't make perfect tubes. and your block out. You're just gonna have to fix it later. We're gonna pretend like I know where this goes. Might be like a trap muscle or something. Let's make like a little divot in the body. Oh, symmetry's not on. Boo. Turn symmetry on. Do it again. Why aren't you doing what I want? I'll use a different brush. Bam, that was way easier. Cool, we'll have like this little flap, which I'm pretty sure is a muscle thing. And then now this will fit into that pocket. Oh, that's nice. Okay. So what is going on with this pose? I need to figure out where these wings are gonna go. This is cool. I want him kind of like walking forward though. And I guess it'll be kind of like the equivalent of like walking forward on his elbows. That feels right. Yeah. I know it's silly that I move so much on stream and like I'm doing like whatever I'm doing here. I do this off stream too. Like a lot of animators have mirrors next to their desk. I have a hard time with mirrors and windows. I swap them up, so that's why the weird pause. But anyway, they have mirrors next to their desk, and so that's a really common thing. So move. I'm looking up and doing it. I'm looking at myself in the camera when I do this. So thanks for being my mirror. I'm really not sure what else I want to, how I'm going to pose this. This is cool. This walking forward thing, that is what I want. Okay, so we have this part, which is what I was thinking, and it's pretty much flat. Oh, it's been 15 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna extend this by literally 1 minute, no, 3 minutes. I made myself 3 more minutes, and I need to get these wings done. Okay. I'm not gonna worry about the different muscle groups, just this section right here. It's really long in that picture. I don't think that's gonna be right in 3D, but I don't need to worry about that. There's that. Duplicate, and then this is the part that confuses me in a good way. I make that longer. We can have a little spiky nonsense happening here, like we have here. There's like a tooth or something. We don't want to go too crazy with that because it doesn't connect in the middle of the bone. There's a joint right here, and then a little thing. Yeah. Doesn't have enough height right now, but we can change the size of this later. I can also angle this up. Yeah, it's kind of getting more of that hunched look. All right, I like that. Mirror and weld. We got this piece here, and then I duplicate it. Move your pivot point down and then rotate. It just makes it a little bit easier. And that can start creating these cool spires. They're probably bones. I don't know, your finger things for the wing shape. We're at a gentle curve using bend arc. Why I don't pose, like add the curve with the move brush, it's because it's really slow. That's all. But you could, it doesn't, do whatever you want. Do whatever's fun. There we go. Gonna make it kind of spindly. And then how many do I need? Probably as many fingers as I have. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, what? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. A lot of these have 3. We're going with 3. 1, 2, and we're gonna make it a little smaller first. Which one is the longest one? The one closest to the elbow, and they get shorter as they go. Hey, I'm already doing that. Neat. Cool. All right, and then I don't like that you can't see him from the front, so I'll just kind of throw my pivot over. I can do that all at once. So let's select all of them, move my pivot point down right here, and then rotate out a bit. Neat, there we go. Merge, 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 and mirror and weld. Cool, I took another 3 minutes to get this figured out. I'm gonna make him a little bit bigger, rotate him towards the camera a little bit more. And then this, what can I do with you? My timer's going off, I know I'm cheating. Okay, time to hang out and talk to chat, see how you guys are doing, or if you're kind of just vibing while I... Creature. Awesome. So, this did not take 15 minutes, I cheated. Because I don't know. I got kind of worried about the wings, and then I just avoided doing the wings. All right, let's do a little spin around here. We have this reference, or that angle, this angle, that one, and that one. Awesome. How are we doing? Lisa's back. Hello, hello, welcome in. Yes, duckfoot. There already were like 3 different moments where it looked like a Triceratops. Oh, did it? Oh, I must have missed it. That would have been fun. Very cool. And then Aloha says, Mia, cool stuff in Tableau Chronicles when you get a moment. Well, now let's find out. Is it actually going to be cool, or is it just going to be dumb memes? Oh, no, they're actually cool. Ah, sorry. All right, let's turn on Discord here so you guys can see it. If you're not in our Discord server, our lovely mod will put a link in the chat for you to join. All right, there's my little collection here. And then Aloha found even more delicious good stuff. Oh, cool. This reminds me of the Ekimara from Witcher. Just like the... Man, that's the really good references. That face is cool. Sorry, it's a little hard for you guys to see when I zoom in. Oh yeah, I've seen this before. It's really cool. And then Aloha says, Mia's initial 5-minute blockouts have increased in quality, proportions, and general flow so much. Oh, thanks. It's hard to do a direct comparison, but this is the Bat Wyvern blockout compared to the Cherry Blossom blockout in a similar time frame. Let's see if I can move that over. You're kidding. Oh my goodness. Speed isn't the main thing to focus on, but shows improvement for understanding shapes and being comfortable pushing the blobs that she wants, and not being shy to push pose. I'm going to bring this entire thing down over here just so you guys can see it, because this is worth saying. Yeah, so 15 minutes now versus 15 minutes. Okay, to be fair, a Cherry Blossom Dragon is hard as fuck, but I don't know, what was I doing for 15 minutes? I mean, nope, we love old Mia as well. Shitting on younger artist version of you is a recipe for disaster. I love that that happened, because now I can do this quickly. That's so cool. Oh yeah, duh! How have I not grabbed Monster Hunter references? I've killed so many of these, I don't know. It's Pomelo. I'm that kind of person where if I'm reading something in, like, especially like fantasy books, I just recognize the word. Like, I literally like say the first letter and like mumble the rest, even in my head reading it. So I never learn how to pronounce things. Pomelo. Poof poof. Poof poof. Okay. Yeah, those are great references. Thank you. And yeah, you're right. I'm that's incredible. What a fun... I would have never connected that. Yeah, I was just bitching for 18 minutes. Let's go. How fun. Oh, someone new is here. Field. Hello, welcome then, Field. Just a question for a new person here. How would you get started doing this? It looks awesome. I would love to do this someday. I recommend downloading something that is free or really cheap. I used to use Sculptress, but I don't think that even exists anymore. I think ZBrush Mini Core is still a thing, and that's free. If not, I don't recommend using Blender right away because like it's so hard to get it set up to just start sculpting. It's very, very scary. I want you to have as little buttons to click on as possible. Let me see if ZBrush Mini Core is still a thing. ZBrush Core Mini, my bad. Said that a little backwards. Maxon's changed a lot of things recently, so my big concern here is that even though I found something that talks about ZBrush Core Mini, that it won't actually exist for download anywhere. Aloha, if you could find a link for the download for ZBrush Core Mini, I would really appreciate that. But yeah, so there's only one tool. You can't make like multiple pieces or whatever. You're sculpting on one blob, but then you can kind of just play with it and stuff. You can just use a mouse to start with. Eventually, I recommend you will need an art tablet like this. So I'm doing all this with a pen. And that costs money. Everything costs money. You know how it is. But yeah. I would recommend just getting something like this and just making blobs. That's exactly how I teach my students as well. One of the first assignments I ever give them is create bad. And you make a bunch of bad art and you have a really good time doing it. And eventually that bad art, you get a little more comfortable and it becomes stuff like this. Because This is also a silly blob, let's be real. But that's how it always starts. Sculpting is really interesting because unlike something like music, I grew up playing piano, so comparing the two. Unlike music, where if like you learn like a C chord, you can walk up to that piano and press 3 buttons, keys, and you get a beautiful sound. With sculpting, it's not really like that. It's more like learning how to play violin, where you spend a month just trying to get a single nice sound to happen. And what's interesting, and this is the big thing about sculpting, even when you're really good and been doing it for years, it always looks like this in the beginning. It always looks weird. So you have to get really comfortable with like silliness and not taking yourself too seriously. Think of yourself like a kid in a sandbox. And if you do, it is so much fun. I made it my full-time job. This is what I do every single day. And I love it. I love it so much. It's a really good time. Feld says, hey, thank you so much. And I can do bad art. I already like you. Welcome to the tavern. I can tell you're going to fit in. M3DM, Murders 3D Monsters. Oh, Nomad. Yeah, yes, I have Nomad as well. I think I have that on my iPad. It's like $15 US dollars if I remember correctly. Oh, I'm so glad ZBrush Core Mini has been removed. That's so great. I love that. I really want to be cool with Maxon, and it's really difficult sometimes because it's just these tools that were available before keep getting removed, and it really makes me sad. Oh well. At least it's not as expensive as Maya. Yes. Time to set sails, I guess. Great question, though. Great question. Yeah, absolutely. Paint, that's a good one. Yeah, one of us. This community is like super, super friendly, so yeah. And they're sweeties. They've been around for like a lot of us months, some of us just for a few weeks. My favorite part about this community is we have people that kind of like, they'll come in like Corey and they'll be like super, super active, and then like a season will pass and they'll be gone. They bought a new house, they moved, they come back in. It's a cool thing to have people pass in and out. That's partly why we call it the tavern, because it's a lot like that. Like people come in, they get a drink, they leave, a few months later, come back. It's just a good time. Okay, I am going to get, I need to eat something. I did not have breakfast. So I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. It's currently 1:36 p.m. where I am at. I will be back within 10 minutes. The absolute latest, probably 5 minutes. I'm gonna go on break. In the meantime, you're more than welcome to join the Discord. Anyone else that's lurking and being shy, please join. You'll have a good time, I promise. All right, I'll see you guys in about 5 minutes. I encourage you to get a snack as well, and we'll continue. and welcome back, my beautiful peasants. I know, I'm so sorry I called it the tavern. Forgive me, Taverb. For those that are new here, I misspelled tavern once. I spelled it Taverb because, well, they're right next to each other on a keyboard. And community never let it go. So, it's a Taverb. Hello, welcome in, Wendelier. I like it, I like it. Alright, we are going to continue here. What would you guys like to see next? I am more than happy. Yeah, let's get a poll running for this Aloha. Whatever sections you want to break it up into, probably the head, wings, body, and legs. I can let you guys pick what you want to see me work on next, because going from the blockout stage to secondary shapes trips a lot of people up. A lot of people up. I'll roll over into Tavern Chronicles. Here we go. All of our polls, or pretty much all of our polls, are hosted on Discord, not YouTube. So if you do want to vote, you could just talk about it in the comments, but the official vote will be in Discord. And that will be in Tavern Chronicles. Get stopped at the door for being insufficiently creative. Nah. Wendelier, you literally did a sketch that I made into a model that's now like on my Patreon. Speaking of, Ricky liked that model so much that when he was making like a new like Facebook ad creative, your model is featured on it, Wendelier. Kind of cool. Oh, I did eat, finally. So I'm feeling much better. Greek yogurt is nasty unless you put a shit ton of sugar and fruit in it, and then it's really good. Highly recommend. Thank you everyone to welcoming Lisa and Filled in the Discord. It makes me very, very happy. I just so oh my goodness, these emojis for this. Okay, I wasn't gonna pick legs, but you put a chicken leg on it, or turkey leg, and that's so funny. My Tractor Supply has baby turkeys in right now, and they look just like normal baby chickens, like normal chicks, but they have that little bump right between their eyes and the top of their beak, which is like the beginning of that crown, I guess, or gobble, and they're precious. They're so cute. Ricky said we could not get them because you have to buy a whole flock. Yeah. I actually don't want to do the tail first, so I'm glad that that wasn't an option. What do I want to vote for? What do I want to work on? Probably the head. I usually pick the head first, but I don't care. Whatever wins. So far we are tied for head and wings. Obviously we're going to get to a lot of this today, but it's just what we're working on first. I like Greek yogurt with M&Ms. That defeats almost the whole purpose of it. I love it. Less healthy, but delicious. And he has a little bit of a crunch. I love that. No one voted for turkey leg. Where is Monkey when we need him? I know Monkey would have voted for turkey leg. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I sculpt today. It's already been a fantastic stream. This is my last creative stream of this week. On Friday, we will be doing another gaming stream in Tiny Lid. I'll talk about that in Discord when we're closer to it. Ricky just doesn't want to share the basement with 17 turkeys. That's about how many they wanted you to buy, my goodness. For those that are new, Ricky is my husband, and no, he does not live in the basement. We don't even have a basement. Alright, we have a somewhat compelling lead for working on the head, so I'll do that first. And then we'll kind of keep on voting and picking what you want though, because I'll just follow this in order for what I work on next. Alright, I don't want to do this. I'll have this guy here for a little moral support. And then what I really like to do, this is a big thing that I've been harping on, because organization while you work is so important. I don't mean naming your subtools. I just mean keeping control of how tools and subtools work. So right here is your subtool menu. You have all these different pieces. And I could grab this and start working on the head, but I have all these other ones that kind of get in the way. I don't like using folders because they're dumb, and if you delete something, the whole thing goes away. Anyway, come up here instead, and you'll have a new scene with a new clean set of subtools. I can click append. I can grab that head that I have selected over there. So here it is. And I can work on this in this new clean space, and then when I'm ready, I can go back and add it to this original scene. It's a small thing, but I do find like little workflows kind of clear up your mind. Really nice. All right. I don't think I need this reference right now, so we'll just have him screaming in the corner. And then I'll zoom this in, kind of look at what I need here. So I'll usually have my mood board here, and then as I work, I will like take screenshots of my screenshot to get a better zoomed in look. All right, I think right here, this line is gonna be really helpful. So I'm gonna move this over and kick that off to my other monitor. This will be my new one. And this will be kind of our little inspiration board here, how I'm gonna sculpt this head. There's absolutely no shame in tracing in 3D and lining things up. You can absolutely put images on your desktop and then turn on see-through mode. You can absolutely do that. There's my monitor. Oh my goodness. It's not good to lie to the new peasants about the basement. That's where the resin cakes are stored. Don't drink resin. I already mentioned 3D printing. Everything I do here is for 3D printing. I print all my stuff. And yeah, not surprisingly, big D&D fan. Alrighty. Well, I think everyone's been attended to in the chat. Let's do another little session here. I'm gonna put another 15 minutes on the clock and we'll get cooking. Again, you're welcome to vote in the Discord on what you want me to work on next. Obviously the head's in the lead right now. So my plan right now is to do head, wings, body. It is officially just tied to wings, but if I voted, then my vote wins. I'm the tiebreaker. I'm worth two votes. Okay, let's get going. Actually, I'll leave that up. You guys kind of liked seeing that. Start my timer. All right, let's go. So I got my piece here. I'm actually going to duplicate it just in case I push these shapes too far. I don't know what happened. It's gonna be really important to have the draw as a separate piece probably just because we have so much going on here. And I'm gonna want some flexibility in moving these pieces around. I'm actually pretty happy with this shape here. I wanna work on the front view a touch. I'm gonna go back to snake hook and work on the front view. So both of these ears are much more round than what I have. I like this little spike that I have up here, but I'm missing some of this shape. So again, this is how secondary shapes work. You take your blob and then you pretty much, you play your game, spot the difference. You look at your references and see what they have in common versus what yours does not. And then how do they connect to the head? I have them coming off like horns, but what actually happens is these ears kind of fold over and sit on top of the head. That's gonna be kind of a tricky area for me, so I'm gonna make my life easier by splitting this into a different piece. I always do that. Once I'm like, looks a little tricky, new piece. Tricky or has an interesting overlap where it's easier than instead of trying to like fake the overlap and sculpt it, you just literally create the overlap by making them different pieces. So now that I have this here, I can literally take this piece and move it on top. It looks like this is a pretty flat plane here, which is very interesting. I didn't really expect that. So we'll make these ears a bit thinner and pull them to be more straight up and down. I'm gonna hollow them out even further. Start getting this tube shape here, which just like the tube we have on top of our ears. I think it's called a helix. I think I saw it recently and I'm like, oh, that does have a name other than ear tube, which is what I call it. I do think having some wear and tear and some cuts in the ears will look really cool, but those kind of details look best when asymmetric, so we'll add that later. All right, looks good. Another cool thing is look at these little ridges that are in the ear. What a fun detail that is. I don't want to forget about that detail. So what I'm going to do is add that in. It kind of is a secondary form, not gonna lie, but or more of a tertiary form almost, my bad. Stop. I'm just gonna kind of like scribble these shapes in, quite literally, just so I remember that they're there. Sweet. It's almost like construction lines. ZBrush is so mad I have back face mask turned on. Relax. I added this line in the center because I thought I saw that, and I'm realizing now that I didn't, and that's why this looks kind of weird. So let's go ahead and smooth it. Actually, even better. Ooh, I'm gonna show you guys a fun technique here that I don't get to use very often, so pay attention. I'm gonna use my standard brush. Make sure the intensity is somewhat high. I'm going to carve a line at the top here, and then carve a line at the bottom. And then I'll use a button called Interpolate. And what that will do is connect those two. It's found under the stroke menu. And I always forget where exactly because I have it docked. Here it is on my UI, Interpolate. Currently it's gonna put 10 strokes identical in between those, the top and the bottom. 10 is too many. For me, let's change it to 4. There you go. Isn't that cool? Auto sculpt. Obviously not really, you still have to do all the work, but neato. Cool. That ear looks like a thing. I'm very displeased with how the back looks there. So I'll turn on back face mask, which means it won't tear through the mesh, and I will add some volume here to prevent that weird ridge that tore through the mesh. There we go. Got some ears now. Before I move on, because I'm spending a lot of time on the ears, I want to make sure I really got the shape correct because I'm missing this piece here, which is apparent on every reference I have. If you want to make stylistic differences, great, do that. If you want to make a stylistic difference from every single reference you have, maybe don't do that. Maybe add like, give it a nose ring or something silly or add something unique, but don't change the actual structure of what it is. Unless you have a reason for it, or you really know what you're doing. I don't, so I need it to make, I need to follow the rules. Oh. I'm gonna turn on kind of like my silhouette mode is what I call it. Click V. I like that. Great. These do sit lower. We're okay with that. All right, awesome. Now let's work on the top of this head again. I have these pieces pulled out here because I'm gonna be adding like fluff and like kind of like this mane thing. But for now, I want to really kind of get in and shape up this head a little better because there's this beautiful, weird bat nose. I'm going to use my soft brush to start carving in the shape. This is my absolute favorite part of sculpting, is when I get to use this brush. Everyone's got their favorite stages of sculpting. Mine do change week to week, but right now, my absolute favorite is when I get to come in and do secondary forms with this soft brush. Right now I'm kind of adding the palette where like your gums, that bone where all the teeth are gonna sit in. It's really important that you add that. And then it's gonna extend all the way to the front here. And there's probably gonna be weird little ridgy things happening inside the mouth too, if I had to guess. So we will use our cool interpolate function again, because I just love using niche tools. Look how nice that looks before, after. Just fun, so fast. We're missing some volume on top. And I'll go back and forth between that brush and move. It's kind of hog-nosed a little bit, isn't it? Going back to my soft brush here. I think I have the eyes in a bit of a peculiar spot. They actually sit a little more front facing. They're about there. I get asked all the time by my students, like, how do you know where to add stuff? I don't. I have no idea. If you asked me to draw a bat from scratch, it would be a disaster. We should make me do that sometime. I don't know what literally anything looks like. 99% of being an artist is, what does that look like? Gets a reference, follows the reference. I cannot overstate that enough. I was watching a video last night from a artist from Overwatch, or I can't remember, some really like prolific, fantastic artist from like a AAA studio. And they said something really interesting. They said, really what separates good artists from great artists is how good they're at gathering references. And that kind of blew my mind. And I'm like, yeah, actually that makes a lot of sense. And if you're thinking, well, yeah, but I don't want to make stuff that exists. I want to make original stuff. Your original stuff is still based in reality, I promise. Every time. Dragons, like, well, dragons aren't real. Kinda. They're like horse lizards with a little bit of lion sprinkled in there. And that's what makes it so convincing. Good fantasy, just like good sci-fi, is rooted in reality a little bit. Oh, I upset ZBrush. If you do a bunch of like tiny little clicking nonsense when I'm streaming particularly, it gets upset and it will usually crash. But that's why quick saves enabled every 3 minutes. I'm looking at my watch. I'm like, cutting into my time. That's okay. Yeah, ZBrush, I know you crashed. So I just go to this box right here, which is called Lightbox. I don't know why. If anyone knows why this is called Lightbox, I would love to know. And then over here will be my most recent one. And I couldn't have lost more than 3 minutes of progress because that's how I have it set up. Awesome. The head has already seen some really good, like the top of the head, some really good improvement. So I'm actually going to leave that alone as I keep sculpting on it. And I'm going to work on, there needs to be a cheekbone in here somewhere. I'm going to work on this bottom jaw. Okay. See, because ZBrush crashed, I have to re-deal with these messages again. As you guys know, I have strong feelings about them. They're just little pop-ups that tell you like, hey, this brush does this. If any of you guys have Windows instead of Mac, you know what I'm talking about. It's like you gotta delete a file. Windows is like, are you sure you want to delete that file? I'm like, yes, that's why. I hate being asked for reminders. Let's turn off polypaint. All right. And then we need to have some sort of tissue right here that will connect to the neck. I'm already toying with, on the main model here, having like a gizzard sort of turkey neck almost, so I especially want to make that a bit longer. I'm going to pull this shape back because I can kind of tease it looking like bone, which would be neat. You don't have to use Sculpt Pro when you have Snake Hook on. It actually still works really well, but I recommend it. I'm going to use Snake Hook here to I'm going to use Snake Hook here to make some fur chunks. When you're doing fur chunks or adding some little blobs, your camera angle is everything. And I think that's something that's really frustrating for beginners because they're like, I can barely move around. Now I have to know like the exact angle at which this is gonna pull off a normal. And I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. It does get easier, I promise. And these obviously look kind of weird and stringy, but I really just want shape. I just want an interesting shape. I'll know when I see it. Is it looking a little tentacle-y? It is. That looks cool. Yeah, that's looking really cool. When you zoom in on models that you really, really like, it usually looks worse than you expect. Just remember that, okay? It's a Monet. Back up. Look at it from here, and you're like, wow, that's looking really cool. And up here, it's like, what? What is that? Stringy weird fur chunk, obviously. We need to build this bottom jaw here, so I'll go back to my favorite brush. Never just create a jaw and forget about like the tongue, the, I don't know what this is called, like your gum line, but like it's more than that because it extrudes off of your, you know, your mouth. I feel like there's a real name for it. I do think it'd be cool if we had similar fur stringy nonsense hanging off of the chin as well. It's not looking very undead. We don't really have any bones coming out of this yet, but we will. Never fear. I thought I was gonna do just like a bat head skull on top, like a little hat. But that's not what I ended up going to do as I worked on it. Fine by me. I'm kind of missing a plane change here, so I'm going in with my soft brush, holding down Option so it takes away material instead of adds. There we go. I'm kind of making sure I'm creating that plane change. Kind of looks like a possum right now. And I'm doing the same thing here where I just want it to be like really clear, like it's a straight line and then it's straight here. It's not about being harsh, it's just about being intentional. I think having another plane change right there would also be nice. Yep, I like that. Cool. We really need to add some teeth before this gets out of hand. I'll just make the teeth from scratch. I feel like I'm doing a lot of stuff from scratch today, and it kind of defeats the purpose if I append a toothbrush. And teeth are really easy to make. Take a sphere, stretch that sphere, grab your gizmo, bend. There you go, you got a tooth. You can taper it, you can add wear and tear to it, do whatever you want. I like to just smooth over it with Sculpt Pro because that kind of screws it up a little bit, and I like that. I think just one tooth is good, guys. It's kind of adorable. Sometimes I don't know if I like Grimdark the way most people like Grimdark, because it always ends up being like, look how cute he is. And it's like, okay. I do like the broken forwardness of it. It has been 15 minutes, but I'm just gonna keep going because we're vibing. Let me glance at the chat. I don't see my name. What was the documentary you were watching? I have no idea. Did I mention a documentary? If I did, I'm sorry. Oh no, I was watching like a short on Facebook, like a reel, like a 30-second clip. Yeah. If I said documentary, make myself sound smarter, I apologize. That is not what was happening. I was doom scrolling and something interesting happened to come up. Yeah. Is it your jawbone? No, you can't see your jawbone. Yeah. Any other questions? Ooh, Greek yogurt with crushed up Oreos. That's also diabolical. You guys are just eating dessert. I love that. Oh my goodness. Are you sure you want to do that? Oh, never mind. You don't have permission. Don't even get started on that. I'm like, I own you. Yes, I have permission. And like, I understand like you need admin commands, do certain things. That's fine. But like, I was doing stuff from my administrative account. I was in the command prompt thingy and I was like, not a fan of Windows. I have a Windows computer still because that's what I play computer games on. Calling it computer games will never not be funny to me. I play computer games on. Adding teeth. Important note here. Just because I sculpt from scratch as much as I can on stream doesn't mean that you have to. I have a huge library that I hoard stuff that I've made and then kit bash stuff from. Never ever think I am being like an art purist because I'm the farthest thing from it. I am an absolute heathen. I am just doing this in case someone is watching and trying to figure out how to make that same thing. Because I learned so much from watching live streams on YouTube. Not tutorials. not paid courses, live streams. Free live streams on YouTube of watching professional artists do their thing is 99% of the reason why I can sculpt anything. Okay, mine's looking really goofy with this like chin, but I love it. Oh, I think that's why he looks a little precious. He needs an eyeball. I usually add that earlier on. All right, let's carve a spot here. Another one here. Interpolate. No, way too much interpolate. Like 5 strokes. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's add an eyeball. To do that, I'm gonna go to IMM primitives, grab a sphere, click and drag. I don't know why it is a black void. Probably because I have a color selected. Yeah. Oh, I do, RGB. Stop. Why are you still a black void? Stop it. There. Fixed it. Alrighty. Should I be placing this eyeball right now? No, because the head shape's wrong. But I really want to see an eyeball right now, so that's what I'm gonna do. Also, this nose should really protrude more like that. Oh my goodness. He's adorable. If you feel like ZBrush is gonna crash, click number 9 on your keyboard and it'll quick save. That quick save will be stored in Lightbox. All right, now we take this eyeball and we're gonna cut it in half. Turn off perspective so it's a straight cut with your mask lasso brush. Also, make sure that you save your eyeball first before you cut off eyelids. We're gonna redo all of this because I did it wrong. Eyeball, duplicate eyeball. Now cut it in half. If you wanna get smart, you can look at your model and see what angle that eye is at, kind of see where like your inside tear duct is, and then draw that line. Now split points, polish by features, close holes, and then zero mesh with half turned on. For anyone interested in my courses and how I teach, I do not teach that fast. Can you imagine if I was just like bam, 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 bam. Now your turn. Cry myself to sleep. I definitely have bought tutorials like that and then been very mad because I'm like, I can't work that fast. And I work pretty fast. I'm a spaz. When I watch tutorials and stuff, I'm that person that listens to on 2 times speed because I'm a terrible student. I hate learning. I've gotten a lot better with it over the years. But tutorials that don't get to the point versus tutorials that leave out key information, I seem to have a hard time finding something in between. I kind of committed a cardinal sin here, and that's by making the eyes way too big on something that I want to be grimdark. So here's how we fix it. Merge down, make that eye much smaller, trust me. You want these weird little squinty eyes. And something else I like to do with models that are spookier is I will duplicate the bottom eyelid. So it'll actually have like 2 bottom eyelids, and then I kind of create this like eye bag thing. Relatable. I still don't understand why if you have eye bags or dark circles under your eyes, people are like, why are you so tired? I'm like, everybody looks like that. The only reason why you guys don't see it on me right now is I have a shitload of makeup on. That's the only reason. Otherwise, I'm just like I don't know, I feel like that's normal. The amount of times people asked me in college if I was tired, or like, you look tired. I'm like, thanks, I am. But why? Don't say that to people. Don't ever, unless it's someone that you care about and you're asking if they're sick and they need something, look at someone and go, you look tired. Nobody likes that. Don't do it. All right, we need an interesting head shape here. He's got this giant rectangle snoot, and I forgot to look at it from the top. It should taper. Bam, move brush. Wrong, better. Now the eyeballs are falling out of his head. That's okay, scoot. Okay, having teeth cutting through his face is not the worst idea. I'm going to also start to take the gums and kind of fold them over the teeth a little bit. That's a fun thing that always makes them look cool. This eye is still not eyeing. Look. Cool. There we go. I'm starting to figure it out. All right. What is the distance from the nose to the eye? I'm worried it's like this, actually. Yes, it is. I kind of made this like a cat possum. Ooh, there we go. Look at this. Look at those shapes right there. I love that. That's cool. Okay, I'm not going to smooth out this weird tearing I'm getting from having low focal shift because it looks cool. I have a high focal shift. I don't know why that's happening. I've started to use low focal shift intentionally to add noise and problems to my models, and I highly recommend it. Can we have the eyeball falling out of the socket? Ew, no. I don't think it'd look right, more than anything. It's one of those ideas that might be a little more fun in concept. All right, I'm missing a cheekbone. I can't figure out where it goes. Okay, they don't have cheekbones. They have a giant eyeball, and then that is their cheekbone, is the edge of that eyeball. Okay. I can work with that. I'm gonna just scribble on this eye here, which is going to be the bone underneath, and I'm gonna hollow out this eye socket, creating a spot for the eye, literally. M3DM, Mia 3 does makeup to not look tired. There was an attempt. And yes, absolutely. The amount of makeup you have to put on to even be visible on camera is outrageous. I would never go out like this. And like right now, I know it doesn't look that odd, but the first thing I do after stream is I take toilet paper and I smear off my cheeks and my lips. Looks great on camera though. Like, this is intentional. I'm happy with how this looks. But in real life, I look sunburned. All right. Yeah. So this took me 30 minutes instead of 15, but I was really nice and focused, and I really like the work I did here. We're gonna really exaggerate that bone here, and I'm doing that wrong because that's not how that works, but that's okay. There is a little bit of brow ridge here on the skull, and there's also a center bump. Well, do I like that? Ooh, I do. Ew, cool. Y'all, I've gotten so much better in the course of this last year. Feels good. Having the jawbone connect and poke through in some way would be really cool. Can I do that in a way that looks intentional and makes any sense? No, that looks like badly assembled IKEA furniture. Stop it. We're not doing that. All right, how about these ears? How do they connect? I guess you don't really see it. There's like fur that goes over the top. My favorite. I don't need to know what that looks like. Cover it up with fur. Like, I'm totally being serious. That is like my favorite. I'm using the snake hook brush and just kind of like chaotically pulling off shapes. This is really fast and it looks really easy because I have my camera angle exactly correct. Don't forget that. It's very camera angle sensitive. Okay, I either need to push these holes in his head more or less. More. They're also just in the wrong spot. The teeth being in the way is both funny and very annoying. I like what I had before. Having this weird eye chasm thing is interesting, and I think I'm going to texture it the same way as the insides of the ears and the insides of the mouth, because that's cool. We're going to do a smaller line to draw more attention to it. Yes, a line here, and interpolate. There we go. A little bit of a lag, but it happened. That's cool, and it doesn't really make sense. And it doesn't have to. Wow, I have shaky hands. We're gonna turn on lazy mouse. There we go. That's so weird. Cool. All right, we're gonna add some damage to this. So what I'm gonna do is grab my knife lasso brush, select the ears, turn off symmetry, number 9 on my keyboard to quick save because there's always problems. And we're gonna start cutting out some little pieces here. And then I'll run over it with my smooth brush to kind of make it look less perfect. Oops, wrong way. It's sensitive whether it's counterclockwise or clockwise on what material it is keeping versus removing. If you do this on a very high poly model, it's gonna crash. Don't do this on a 2 million poly model. It's gonna be mad. All right, if I remove too much? Nah, never too much. What if I like start cutting out ridiculous sections? There's no reason to not try things. What if I just like throw his nose up to the sky so I can grab some little missing chunks there? Yeah, it's cool. Oops, wrong direction. Nope, it's weird. There we go. What if, does this respect a mask? I don't know actually. Let's find out. No, it doesn't work at all. Man, that'd be so cool. All right, so the knife brush does not respect a mask. It just doesn't work at all. Cannot perform symmetrical knife stroke if crossing symmetrical plane. I don't have symmetry turned on. Why would you even care? It said the same error, but it worked. Okay. I think I can use the clip brush here instead, and it will work. I'm gonna use the clip curve, or no, clip circle brush. It's been 15 minutes. Wait, let me see if this does anything. I'm gonna throw that on there. Ooh, it does like weird stuff. Okay. Odd. Okay, none of that worked. Always fun to try. All right, a little fun 30-minute sketch there, taking the head from this to this. Let's do a little before and after. If you have questions, now is the time to put them in the chat because I'm going to be attending to y'all very soon. Sometimes I wonder how you guys would have questions because I literally did it on stream in real time. And then you guys asked like super good questions and I'm like, oh, I guess, yeah. But I always feel silly being like, if you have questions, I'm like, what would you ask? Wow, look at him. I'll move it lower so my chandelier is not in the way. Any other important angles? That one's kind of cool. All right, there we are. There's our bat head. Nasty. All right, next up, you guys want to see the wings? I can absolutely do that. Hello, Sapphire. Welcome in. Welcome in. Mia on camera. Yeah. Fun fact, hedgehog eye sockets are so shallow it's common for their eyes to fall out. I hate that. Thank you. Just seems like bad design. It does. I wonder if the devs will patch it in the next hedgehog update. You guys are effortlessly funny. I love it. Amazing. We call mine Pirate Snowball after she... You have a hedgehog where their eyeball fell out? Did you find the eyeball? Was there blood? What? Okay, it's different when you say like, fun fact versus like, my pet hedgehog's eyeball fell out is a way different story. Okay. God. I hate that. Alright, when Delia asked Mia, when a body dies, do you know which structure shuts down last? It's the eyes, because they dilate. Mia isn't ready for the hedgehog shack. I wasn't. I was not ready. Okay. Okay, very nice. Me thinking there'll be an actual question. Oh my goodness. Amazing. Alright, the Discord just full of memes. What's new? And then my mod messaged me saying, sorry Mia, I stepped away from the desk for a moment. I hope I didn't miss anything. Just hedgehog eyeballs falling out. Alrighty. Awful. I was ready to get banned after that joke. It'd only be temporary. Alright, we have an update on the hedgehog eyeball falling out. So far says Mia, no blood. Yep, it was a solid raisin. She lost it sometime in the night and I found it in the morning. She didn't even seem to notice, to be honest. Oh, critters being crittery. Oh my gosh. Why did you describe it like a raisin? I hate that. Alright. This was emotionally distressing. Thank you for sharing. I also love raisins, you know, so yeah. A little less now. A worthy hill to die on. Let's not get the pun train going. It only takes one of you. Well, this is fun. I'm really happy with how this is looking. Looks insane. I'm thinking, what am I do next? Okay. Definitely going to work on the wings next when I work, but I'm just gonna kind of sit here, take a break, drink some water. And this is exactly how I work off camera too. I work for like, I sculpt for like 30 minutes, like super focused, that's all I'm doing. And then 5 minutes. It feels like a ridiculous amount of breaks, but I stopped having like shoulder pain and wrist pain, so it's how I do things now. Okay. I don't need this reference of screaming bats anymore. That's so awesome. I'm gonna need to figure out what models to release next week because there's no way this yokai and this Terrorgash are gonna be done. Time to make a saw trap. That's okay, it's tomorrow Mia's problem to finish everything for the week. She does a great job. Thursday Mia definitely hates. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday Mia. Yeah. Oh, I have a message from Soulfire. Is it a question about art or are you apologizing for your raisin eyeball? I thought it was funny. Oh, it's pictures! Okay. Oh, she's so cute. Okay, their eyeballs are tiny. Okay, no, not really. Oh, there's the missing one. Wow. Do you guys want to see the hedgehog? She's albino. Oh my gosh. She's real. With and without eyeball. Your smiley face message on that is diabolical. Okay, whether you wanted me or not, I'm showing your hedgehog to the whole stream because this is important. And she is very cute. It's just, I sent pics, no blood. What? Oh my goodness. I know I have the most interesting peasants in the land, but I did not expect albino hedgehog with eyeball falling out. Wow. That's crazy. What a beautiful little fey creature you own though. Seriously. Wow. How cool. Aloha's gonna be like, what the fuck? Mikey's asking, is my mic on? Not how that works. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing. Weird. Okay. Oop. Just me throwing my pen. Haven't done that in a while. She is a sweetie. All right, that was fun. Let me go ahead and add this new head to the original. And this is exactly how I tackle big projects. I make this little blob block out, which I guess I won't delete it. It's kind of darling, so we'll keep the blob. And then I slowly start, oh, the eyeballs are pitch black again. I kind of like it. And then I slowly add these more detailed pieces in, one at a time. And then eventually I'll go back over it and add more details, more layers, but you just tackle one piece at a time. A big project is just a bunch of little projects in disguise. So far, says Mia, she was about 6 and the grumpiest creature ever. I love that. I also changed my thing again. It's just at M3DM again, so I've missed M3DM, sorry. I'm not changing it again, guys, I promise. Paint already complained. Because when YouTube first rolled out that feature, I couldn't, like M3DM 14, it wouldn't let me pick that or something. Okay, well, thinking. Her bites used to look like a smiley face because of her fangs. That's darling. That is very nice. Thinking. I've had a lot of fun sculpting and being thoughtful and getting a lot of time from this, but I think I am tired. And I think that it would be smart if I gave you guys a little preview of what my, I joke with my Super Saiyan mode, where I just get the model done, looks like. Because it still has a lot of love and care in it. It's just not sculpting literally everything from scratch, because I'm just sleepy today. And I was like, maybe I'll just end the stream early and then do this off camera. And I'm like, no, I always regret that I didn't show you guys that whole process. So yeah. What do you guys think? You want to see some high-speed sculpting? Some off-stream, on-stream levels of sculpting? It just looks like chaotic kit bashing. This is what a lot of professionals do behind the scenes. It's not this beautiful sculpting from a sphere. It's really not. I mean, it can be. It's a piece of the process. I would have had to do that for the head no matter what, because believe it or not, I do not have an undead bat head just hanging out in my asset library. I do now, but yeah. What a cutie this is turning out to be. I'm trying to find an angle where I can put this up here. It looks recognizable. Yes. All right, I got a shirt and then on stream, on cope sculpting. No drugs here, all natural. All right. I mean, I don't mean to I'm not trying to hype it up. I might just work just as fucking slow and then be like, okay, I'm tired, nothing happened. But this is me kind of setting up permission to just work. Alrighty, I'm gonna set a timer for 30 minutes and I wanna see how far I can transform this model in 30 minutes. If you are also at work or doing something creative, try to push yourself. Don't rush, but like really try to lock in. We'll do it together, okay? And go. First thing I'm going to do is utilize my wing library that I've created over the years. Here are my wings. I think I have a nastier one that I can possibly repurpose for this. It's not as cool as I remember, not gonna lie, but it's something. We're gonna grab this one here. Yes. And we'll need to chop this up to fit what we want here. All right, how does that shape line up with that shape? Ooh, that's kind of cool. It also looks kind of feathery. See, I sculpt fast, but I don't sculpt that fast. Yeah, that just fit like it was meant to be. And then obviously we'll do some editing to make it, you know, fit for this model. I do all kinds of sculpting off stream, but I have a limited amount of kind of sculpting I do on stream. So that's why I thought it'd be kind of cool if I could maybe share this. Seeing what an effective kit bashing process actually looks like could be really valuable, I think. I want the shape to be a little bit more interesting, so I'm gonna see what bend arc does. Yeah, so by doing that, it kind of flattens it a little bit, so it gives more of that walking on elbows look that I was talking about earlier that I really liked. And mirror and weld, bam, that's already looking pretty done. We're gonna swoop this back a little bit, very nice. And now we need to really like build this part of the arm up. I think the best way to do that is going to be a couple different subtools. So I'm going to duplicate this, use snake hook. And I might even make like a weird, not possible form where it's more like tendrils that are sticking to the wing. If I do it the way that I think my head tells me that is possible, it will look like muscle tendrils instead of just tentacles. I'm going to add a third duplicate here and have this one fold over the top. Yeah, I think it worked. And then this needs a better transition. So I'm going to turn on Sculptress Pro, grab my soft brush, and really just start adding some volume here. I don't care exactly how clean it looks, it just needs to not be a perfect cut. There we go. Very nice. And now I can use Move Topological and grab these tendrils I created from the arms and start weaving them in to the rest of it. Is it anatomically correct? Nope. And it sure looks cool. And I kind of liked that weird tube thing, so I think I'm going to try the same thing for the neck. And I think I'm going to unintentionally end up making this look undead by doing this, which is great. We're going to have this get a little skinnier. We're going to turn off symmetry. We're going to pull some of this volume off to the side and then stretch it under the armpit because it looks like intentional musculature, but we're really just going on vibes. And then we're going to mirror this. Do the same thing without symmetry. We got enough symmetry just by mirroring it. There we go. Looks tendrily. I am kind of missing that there's nothing like that on top of the neck, so I'll duplicate this, make it really skinny, and then pull it straight up. And I can take this tendril here, connect it to the top of the head, using Sculpt Pro the whole time to kind of taper my ends for me, and then kind of make it a little wobbly. Awesome. Now I have this really thick, gnarly, gross neck thing that will 3D print beautifully while looking undead. This little section right here, I'm going to make a blob of hair. So let's go ahead and take this blob, inflate it a bunch, Dynamesh, and now I actually need to go in with my soft brush, kind of add more variation. If I add, let's kind of pretend like there's a spine here that I know what that looks like. I hope this doesn't sound like super unsure, like, oh, I don't know what that looks like. I'm just being really dry. Like, that's how I think. I don't think it's like a problem. I think a lot of people, when they're learning art, they get so stuck on like these big proper concepts. Like, they'll say stuff like, I'm studying anatomy. And I'm like, no, you're not. Doesn't make any sense. What are you working on? You don't just like study anatomy. No, like you pick something and then you work on that. Like you're working on head planes or you're working on the muscles in the arm or something. Someone might say that and just to simplify it, and they might actually work on something specific. But I always know an aspiring 3D artist is just wasting time when they're posting on Reddit being like, yeah, I've been working on anatomy a lot recently. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you're not. My point is, it's kind of like saying, I studied math. It's a huge topic. What do you mean math? Calculus? Linear algebra? Trigonometry? Like, what? That's more so what I mean. So don't feel like you have to know everything, because you just don't. So even though I don't know what the spine looks like, I kind of added some little ridges and something that kind of feels like bony landmarks. And even though it's not technical vertebra, it looks cool, doesn't it? Just knowing a little bit goes a long way. The same way just exercising a little bit goes a long way. I saw this study or something that was like, oh, just doing like a tiny bit of exercise can extend your life. And I'm like, I'm doing my best. These little tendrils will need some beefing up before I 3D print them, but ooh, they look cool. An easy way to add volume to stuff. Good teaching moment here. If you have really thin elements like this, but you want to 3D print them, here's a really easy way to make that possible. Grab your move brush, enable backface mask, which is located under brush, auto masking, backface mask. And now, if you click and drag, bam, you can add a ton of volume really quickly. Be careful there because it works as much as you want it to. It can be a bit of a mess. But there you go, quick way to add thickness. And I can smooth that out. And it's a win-win all the way across the board. This technique is really close to how I sculpt flames, actually. So if you look at this, you can kind of tell it looks a little bit like fire. All right, we got that cool thing here. I'm gonna duplicate it, flip it over, and stick it on the belly because I don't really know how I want to sculpt the belly, and I need it to not be in the way. Oh my goodness, look at him without wings. He looks like an angry chicken. Oh, it's the little things. Why are you completely in the wrong place? Okay, if you want to rotate something, but you want to be in the right spot, click W for 3D Gizmo, that's a little location marker, then hold Shift, grab one of these outer rings, and then 180 degrees. You hold Shift because it's gonna click, or like snap in precise increments. Mirror and weld, even though I shouldn't have to, and then pull that up. All right, now let's go ahead and go back in with my favorite brush, you guessed it, soft brush, and we're gonna add just some like variation to the body here because I don't really know exactly how detailed I want this to be, but I do want this to release and not become a project that just dies in my work in progress folder. So that's why we're in the get her done mode while still having fun. I'm gonna use my standard brush to carve out a shape here. Which way do ribs go? This way? Yeah, and then carve another shape here and interpolate. I'm just doing that same technique over and over again, what I used for the ears, mouth, and eyes. It's gonna happen to look like ribs here, but more importantly, I just want that texture to be all over the place. That's pretty cool. All right, going back to my soft brush, and then I think there's gonna be a hip bone here, so I'm just gonna add a lump. And now, let's go ahead and fix up these hind legs. I'm gonna scoot it in there to where my fake hip bone is. Hip bones have like a dish spot in their pelvis. We're gonna just dish this spot by the butt. Very good. We're gonna make the foot its own little thing. That'll be a problem for later Mia. Hi later Mia, don't be mad. And now we're gonna take these legs and Dynamesh them. All right, so to make this look good, I'm gonna use Move and Backface Mask, and I'm gonna kind of just pull on these joint areas and then hope that it looks like bony landmarks, and it does. Great. That's really just all what I want these legs to look like. I don't really have a whole lot of plans for these because they're not exactly the star of the show. So now I'm gonna add some musculature in a way that I think makes sense. I think there would be a line right here because it kind of reminds me of your, what is this? Bicep to forearm area. Anyway, that's just what it reminds me of, so I'm gonna kind of detail it in that way. Adding another line here. Gonna add a blob. It's gonna kind of connect down to the center line and increase that under, making sure to continue these volumes on the inside as well. Sweet. I'm gonna increase my contrast slider because it kind of just gives a little bit more oomph. Gonna hollow the back of these legs to be a bit more straight looking. Yeah, and then that kind of looks like a knee bump, which is really cool. So I'm going to emphasize that a little bit more, subtract some material, and then make another secondary kind of bump right here. Great. And then from there, we would need some tendons and ligaments and general goodness to connect back here. And there would be another joint right here. Yeah, this is called making up fantasy anatomy because I refuse to use a reference that did a lot of good work on this because I don't want this to be a 2-week project. I want this to be a fun sculpt where everyone can learn something in a reasonable amount of time. So I just kind of dug out a volume right here, and I don't think that was intentional enough. There needs to be a line of reason, not just carving out a line. So what would actually happen is there would be a big, because the way that moves, there would be a big muscle in the back here. There we go. If you just think about it as intentionally as you can, and you're always trying like your best within reason, because let's be real, trying your best is exhausting. You will see a lot of improvement. Just try to be thoughtful. Because here's the thing, if you just kind of flounder around and hope for the best, the problem is that you might find success sometimes, but you'll have a really hard time repeating that success. If you just have like a crazy theory of why that worked, there we go. You'll be able to replicate those results. This looks like a weird growth and I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable to look at. I'm gonna grab my move brush, move that down. Ew, why do you look like so weird? There, oh, I can make it like a little spike. Yes, that would be cool. I'm gonna just hollow that down a little bit. It's because we're missing some taper here, so it looks a little weird. My face, I'm like, ew. Okay, it doesn't look as weird as I thought. It's really just fine, but I still don't like it. So we're gonna cut it off with trim dynamic. Bam, be gone. Cool. That looks like something, and now we need to do something about these feet. Oh, dragon feet. I don't want to do a dragon foot. What can I kit bash and take from what I already have? I think I can take a foot, like a dog paw, and then mess it up a little bit and get the same thing. Here's my gigantic library of nonsense. I told you I hoard stuff. Ooh, I do have a bird foot. Yeah. I could do something with this. Oh, those are the wings. I don't need you anymore. Goodbye. Eagle bird foot. I'm so glad I named it exactly that. Yeah, I can make this look dragony. It definitely looks just like a chicken right now. But it's a hell of a lot better than what I have right now. And similar in shape, actually. More than I expected. Ooh, I do think that texture would look really cool. Actually, this kind of bird leg texture. Yeah, that's gonna, yes, 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 that's cool. I need you guys to know like how much of like art and creature design isn't so much knowing what you want to do, it's just trying out a bunch of shapes and then recognizing what you want when you see it. Let's kind of scrunch those in a little bit. Mirror and weld. You guys, like, they're so skinny. They really look like turkey legs. I don't think I'm gonna fix them though, because I don't actually think that they're wrong. I think that's just what these legs look like. These toenails need to be about 1,000 times bigger. So let's see if I can edit these like I talked about. I'm gonna use my move brush, and because the way I structured these is there's lots of independent pieces here, everything that I build and save is intentional so that I can reuse it later. So I want to be able to change it really easily. All right, I'm gonna use move and back face mask. And we're gonna add a lot more toenail real estate. That looks okay. That's an improvement. I call that good. Bam. Really coming together. I need to do something with this tail. I feel like we're really close to all these things being on the ground and without me having to just append a weird rock. Ooh, that's weird. Don't do that. So if I turn off perspective and then grab my masked pen brush, I can kind of see where the floor is at. It's really, really close. So how about I just lift this up a little bit? Yeah, check that out. Very nice. Okay, I need to merge this blob stuff down that I'm getting rid of because we're rapidly losing it. And I'm not keeping all the pieces like I said I would by accident because a lot of it's being sculpted on. You know what? If you want to know what the original blob looked like, you're going to go back to the beginning of the stream because I've already deleted so much of it by accident because I just sculpt on top of it. All right. Let's remove this. And now we need to make a cool tail. I can do that. I kind of like the way that it's arced right now. I just don't like that it's not even remotely on the same plane. So I'll put this right by its butt. I'll scrunch it up. Okay, use move and back face mask to add a lot more volume to this because tails can be a problem. Widen that up. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And I'm gonna add another little curve to it right here because it's looking more and more like a rat tail and I really like it. I think it's cool. I think it complements this model well. Not too much though. All right, I got this little tail. And because I keep calling it a rat tail, maybe I should texture it like one. A really easy way to do that is to go to grab your damn standard brush, change your alpha to this scratchy one right here. We're going to probably Dynamesh because the topology is so weird that I'm having a hard time. There we go. Adding details. Great. And you can tell it kind of looks like a really exaggerated version. Ew, why is that topology so bad? Oh, I love when I go undo a little too far. There. Kind of looks like rat tail texture. We're gonna make it not as extreme, just really light. This tail's pretty lumpy and I would clean it up if this was a pretty creature, but it's not a pretty creature. So the lumpiness and the very not consistent taper is fine. If I really care, I can go back with your pinch brush. All right, and then from here, I'm going to increase the contrast slider and then use move and backface mask, a little bit of smooth, to transition this into the body a little better. It's auto-saving. When it's auto-saving, you don't move. You don't touch it, you don't breathe. Otherwise it might crash. You think good thoughts, and that's that. All right, we need to add some more body texture, I think, right here. Now, what is this? Oh, it's the neck. You're not where you're supposed to be. Get over there. I need to merge the neck down to one piece so it's easier to deal with. So I'm going to simply hold down Option, click on a piece, then send it to the top of my subtool list. I do that a bunch of times, and then all I have to do is just click merge down as many subtools as I have there. That way I don't have to like look through my subtools, because I have a lot. I don't have to like manually find them. It's also I don't name anything. You guys, these are my subtool names. It's just, yeah. This looks good. I do think a little bit of texture would be cool here, and it'd be really nice if it matched the tail texture, actually. You want to have like continuous texture stories. I don't know what to call it. You don't want to have like 50 different textures on your model unless you really know what you're doing. Because there's tons of AAA characters that have that, where they have like leather belts and then jewels and then chains and then different fabric tie-offs from twine, and it looks great. But for what I'm doing right here, he doesn't have an outfit. He's just a bat. So he needs to look like it's one cohesive creature and not like 50 different textures. Cool. He's looking really good. I don't know if this area of the ear feels intentional. It just looks really weird and smooth. So I'm gonna turn on Sculpt Pro, and we're gonna add some detail here. I think a hole of some sort, like this ear actually hears stuff, would be good. There we go. I look for things that kind of grab my attention, and I'm like, you look lonely and detail this. And then I go in there and I add some detail. And if I want to add some surface noise to kind of bring everything together, I can use that same technique I was using. No, Sculpt Pro, stop it. Stop. That I use to detail the tail and then the legs, and I can just put that same scratchy texture in here. I'm using the same alpha in a bunch of spots. Obviously you can use more than that. And then what I really like to do is zoom in on the face, grab a section, mask just like a little piece, make sure symmetry's not turned on, and I can use this and like really dig in with that alpha, and it'll kind of look like cracks. You have to be careful because obviously if you do too much of it, it just looks messy, which is a little bit what's happening here. I do think it's cool. By adding these big texture marks here, you got something kind of fun to paint too. Washes grab onto this stuff really well. And then don't forget, you can also invert your brush to kind of add different kinds of surface texture-y noise. This is why I asked if you guys wanted to kind of see this, like, this type of sculpting I do. I don't do this on stream very often because I don't think it's very easy to follow. It's very just like, I'm gonna do this because of vibes. And I do have my students watch these streams, so I would feel bad if this is all the instruction that they got. But at some point, you do just kind of have to trust yourself. Fly, be free. Art is just a lot of vibes, and like I feel like that looks good, and then trying that out. All right, we can start to break symmetry here. I'm gonna take this head, and we're gonna add a little, nope, a little tilt. I really want to I feel like this would be a really good creature to have two heads. It does lend itself really, really well to being a double-headed bat, but that's not the request, so I won't do that. We actually are going to keep this somewhat straight on, and then I bend the rest of the body instead. It's kind of easier to work that way. So I'll look at the front of the head. I will also investigate, what is this? What is that line? Where are you coming from? Is it this? Yeah, go away. There. Very good. We're gonna rotate this head just a little bit, make it a little bit smaller as well. Tilt it up. Great. Now I can hide that. Select the rest of the body. Bring up your 3D gizmo and click on this little bar right here. Then you can rotate it and it will move. Okay, clear your mask. And then you rotate it. What is going on with that mask? Okay, select that. You're killing my flow here. There we go. Without any of your septals having masks on them, you can rotate everything at once. That was funny. That was really testing me, wasn't it? The body obviously looks really stiff, so a really easy way to fix that is to merge down any pieces you have. You have like hair or other cool nonsense. And then I like to simply make sure you turn off that little bar. Go to the center, line up your axis so it follows the straight at the back, and then just add a little bend art. Resection it where it needs to be. And then obviously your tail and your feet and your legs are no longer going to line up. So I just merged those straight down. I'm not really worried about subdivision levels anymore because I'm not really doing that kind of detail. And there you go. You got a really beautiful bend to this body here. That wasn't very hard to do. My only problem with this is then you can't see his tail. And then I'm gonna go ahead and split one of these legs off to be their own piece, because having the legs perfectly stacked symmetric always looks weird. You gotta pose one of them. Just do something with it. Literally anything. If you're being really lazy, you can just like scoot it up. I usually look at it from a perspective turned on. Rotate it out. I don't really care how this connects to the body right now. I just want to see how it looks from the silhouette. So, where do you want to go, leg? What would look interesting? I don't know. I don't really like any of those. Okay. I need to move the wings around because they take up so much space that it's kind of competing. It's a huge part of the silhouette. So I'll just take one of the wings and start moving the wing around. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, that's really cool. I do this all the time where I just turn on silhouette mode in Sculpt and it stresses my students out because they're like, how do you know what's happening? And I'm like, I kind of don't. That's the fun part. The neck didn't bend at all. So I will simply take my move brush and just bend it. It has a bunch of organic shapes in there, so it can't possibly look that bad without... I don't need to look at it to sculpt on it. I just need to know what the shape looks like. All right, these little arms need to be together, and I'm gonna split them off. Am I missing an arm piece? Yeah. Great, I have those arms, and I'm gonna split them into two different pieces. So this is pretty much how I pose anything. I usually use Transpose Master, but I didn't have to in this case because I didn't have any need to keep subdivision levels. If I did want to keep subdivision levels, this would look a little different. The only thing I'm not loving about the silhouette is the legs. They're just kind of goofy. Oh, it's been 30 minutes. Okay, we'll kind of do a little review of how much I got done, and let's see if I did what I claimed to do. This little like Super Saiyan mode. Let's move the swing a little lower so you guys can see. Yeah, I think I did a pretty efficient job in 30 minutes. That was fun. Oh, gnarly, that's cool. Ataka says, I know it's not done, but in the reference, the bat has the skin cover more of its jaw, so it creates like a tunnel, like on the sides. Can you model something similar later at some point when you revisit the head? The head's pretty much done, but what you are asking for is really easy, and it's best done without symmetry. You're talking about these little tendrils right here, aren't you? Autosave. Remember, don't touch when it's autosaving. Yeah, like right here, right? You're talking about? And yeah, these tendrils, I really think it's best to do them out of symmetry. It's one of the few things that always feel worth it. All right, where did you go? There. Duplicate, mirror. So yeah, I put 2 tendrils, and then what I do is I keep duplicating them, and I'll use move and backface mask to kind of get this viscera-y stretched effect, and it always looks so cool. I haven't added to models that aren't supposed to be super creepy and gross because it just always looks really good. I also like adding this detail right now, Ataka, because it kind of has the same like tube look, you know, that I've added on a lot of the model. Aw, ZBrush didn't like it though. Sad. Z-Sketch is too slow to set up. It's the reason why I never use it. I know you just have to add a Z-sphere and then you're good, but I just don't. I don't know. Yeah. I know ZBrush, you totally shit the bed for no reason right there. Was not doing anything very intense. Okay. Well, I don't really feel like doing that exact same thing again, so we will do it slightly different, which is my favorite. I've just made it like a ritual. Every time ZBrush crashes and I lose 2 minutes of work, I refuse to do the exact same kind of work again. I will make it slightly different, and ideally slightly better. I'm gonna adjust my brush here, and I tapered it so that way I'll do some of the work for me. Didn't do a very good job. All right, let me go ahead and lock start so I can further adjust that. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I would use Z-Sketch more because it's so cool. If it wasn't, I don't know, it just requires, it feels like so much setup. Maybe I'm just being dramatic. Me, dramatic, no way. This still required moving stuff. That's fine. There we go. Ew, that looks cool. I can use move and backface mask. If you want even more control, you can turn mask by polygroups to 100, so it'll only grab like any shells or floating meshes that you have. This one right here is a little too far forward. Still looks really cool. I'm gonna save again because this is when ZBrush crashed last time. Made me very mad. There we go. that really exaggerates this crazy stretched mouth too. Yeah, that was very easy to add. And again, it looks like ribs and it matches the same structure we have throughout the rest, which I love that. Okay, I want to review what I did in 30 minutes though. I'm very, very pleased with how that came together. Yeah. Loads of amount of detail. See, the butt is very unloved. That will obviously look better than that. Oh, the neck did get kind of weird, didn't it? Each subtool has its own revision history. But that doesn't fucking work if ZBrush crashes. Spicy. Nah, that's fine. There we go. Oh, that's gonna paint really well and look really nasty. And then as far as like the fur and stuff goes, to make it look like it's more undead and chunkier, you can take your move brush and start like tucking in some of the fur into the body, and then you get this like really mangy, scraggly look. But again, you everything in layers. Everything in layers. I'm very proud of myself from taking this model to being like, okay, this is gonna take weeks to, no, I can do a good job with this, put a lot of love and care, and not put it in project hell. Oh, he's so adorable. Heck yeah. He looks a little scared. I feel like he's kind of in this angle. I'll make him look a little meaner, but I'm really happy with it still. But yeah, there we go. There's a 30-minute, just kind of like get her done energy, but obviously never like I love what I do, so there's no shortcutting that. So we took this body, and that was pretty much just tubes, and then built it up. Very freeform. I actually only brought in the wings, and pretty much everything else was just building on the base that we had. Yeah. Z-Sketch, I know. Can Bat Dog Zombie Boy have slobber? He could. He absolutely could. Hello, I'm setting art, guys, I promise. Hey, yeah, Monkey's here. Hello, hello. Well, that was fun. I'm really glad that I did that on stream and was able to show you guys that. Oh, the Triceratops moment. I see it now. I see it, Otaka. I'll show the stream. Yeah, absolutely. Especially this one here and here. There's a lot of moments actually with the way it was like kind of fanned out. I'm gonna scroll back up to, yeah, this bat reference I had. Cute, cute. But yeah, what do you guys think? I think this model is bitchin'. Oh my goodness. This angle especially, so I call it like the alpha angle. It's what I designed for like the best angle, and then everything else obviously needs to make sense, but it's not like the glamour shot or whatever. I'm really, really happy with this. Especially that head. Oh my gosh. How fun. It does look nice. I'm probably gonna add spines on its back still. This would be a really cool model to add a rider to. It's definitely big enough. Wouldn't want to add too many spines then. I really like the tears, and it wouldn't be that hard to add that. I think I'm going to. We made Batman. All right, and then from here, I feel like it's just kind of adding those cool, like, iconic details, whether it's like shredding in the wings. I do have a cool brush that I think is gonna work the way I want it to right now. I'm gonna save it first though. And Taka says, maybe some spikes on the tail, like seeing the bones. I'm getting a little whiff of like requester panic from you that it's not matching the reference the way you want it to. Might be wrong, but I'm getting a little whiff of that. It's gonna be great, don't worry. It's gonna have all the details, it's gonna look undead, it's gonna have bones on it, don't worry. All right, let's start adding that kind of, you know, like it's being torn apart look on the wings. I also like doing details like this, asymmetrically. Is that gonna, yeah, can I shred it? No, it didn't quite do what I wanted it to. Thinking. Because I have a couple different ways I can approach this. Oops. I think that my favorite way to do it would be to cut these out and then stitch them together. So I don't want to cut them out too far. And this is a really good moment for Sculptris Pro too. To kind of bring that in. Oh yeah, it's gonna be cool. Oh, it's gonna make the silhouette look really, really complicated too. I love that. All right. Did I grab that right? There we go. Ooh, cool. That is so freaking cool. And then yeah, some of that stretchy goodness. So I'm gonna use curved tube for that and probably some back face mask. Let's do one here. Yes. And these will look kind of big and silly. I'm gonna just kind of throw them into place and go left to right. Oh, I need to set a timer so I don't get absolutely lost in the abyss. I'm gonna put in 15 minutes, add some little pizzazz details. I'm gonna call them silhouette details. And I'm adding a lot because I don't know how many of them I'm gonna want to keep. I like to add a bunch and then kind of refine and then see what I like after the fact. Something a more is more kind of situation. Okay, now that I have all these in there, I can kind of, don't do that. We're gonna make this its own subtool. I had Sculptris Pro turned on, so watching it like dissolve the wing, I was like, no. There we go. So now I use Sculptris Pro. You see, that's why I kind of wanted them a little chunky to start with, because I knew I was gonna lose a lot of volume there. Ooh, look at that. Ew. Cool. All right, not mirror, back face mask. It's mad, there's subdivision levels. Don't be mad. There we go. I'm gonna make some of these pretty low to kind of get that stretch look. Very cool. I'm using Move Topological to move these one at a time. And then I want kind of a better angle on some of these. There we go. And I don't want to be too close to the tops either, because those should be kind of just exposed. We have such a strong base on here that we can really, that's so cool. we can really blend them very quickly. I was like losing that thought as I was saying it. I was like, wait, I'm not losing it. I don't think I'm gonna delete any of these little tubes that I added actually. They all look really good. Maybe I didn't even add enough. That doesn't happen super often. We don't want them to be too skinny because again, we 3D print these and we don't want a nightmare. And they look good thicker too. That is so fun. Yeah, what a difference. Again, a good base. And that's the whole point of it. That's what it was there for. Most of that heavy lifting was done. I kind of think this section needs more of these. It's a little light on it. And they're a little evenly spaced apart, just what our brain does. So we'll kind of bring them down. There we go. Cool. All right, I'm gonna merge this down. Take that, duplicate, mirror. I definitely think that's a much more fun wing. And then we're gonna throw that on the other side here. Again, I do want to make them asymmetric, but it doesn't mean you do it from scratch. There we go. Cool. I want to lift one of these up. Like it's like an angry wave yell. I don't know. God, this model is so much fun to work on. That's cool. It has absolutely unloved butt though. I need to work on that. Funny little chicken butt. Because it's undead, I can really remove a lot of material and kind of get that like a exposed pelvis look. Where's that coming from? There we go. There we go, kind of getting that pelvis-ish look from the top. Once I think I've made any improvement, I usually just leave it alone and move on. The fur is gonna help a lot too. Gonna kind of simplify some of this for me. Oh, we got a bunch of weird little artifacts. Let's auto groups and fix that. There we go. Oh, interesting. Stop being spicy and weird. Close holes. There you go. ZBrush was like, but what if I was a problem? I'm like, no, we're not. We're being good today. The fur looks more like a weird little diaper right now. But don't worry, we'll come back to it. You make a little improvement, you move on. You make a little improvement, move on. I need to extend one of these legs and repose it, not just rotate it. I just don't want to do that right now. So I'm not going to. All right, and then the same spikes that we're gonna have for the teeth will probably run down at the back. And then that same kind of vertebra effect that we did, we're gonna sculpt on top of this. I might just sculpt the vertebra and then sink a bunch of them in here. I'm undecided. But for now, I like to add a blob and then you subtract material from the sides, and that gives you a pretty good starting point. still love this like rat tail-esque base here, just kind of gnarly. There we go. And then I can actually, because of that shape I saw there, I think it'd be a nice shape to bring out on the heels here too. And I guess I'm just kind of like finding the bunny landmarks and then just getting out of there. I think this is one of my coolest monsters. Wow. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna grab a tooth from its head. Thank you. And then what's fun about these is that I really don't have to worry about the 3D printing-ness of this because they're gonna be pointing upwards. So it's just more about just don't make them too thin and you're good. A little bit of texturing would go a long way on this, so I'm going to make sure I do that. Is it Dynameshed? Yes. So right now I'm going in with orb flattened edge and kind of like shaving this down to be like a spear almost. Getting these planes in here nicely will allow me to keep them relatively thick. Again, they're pointed upwards, I don't have to worry about it too much for 3D printing, but I still don't want them super spindly or like painful to handle. Resin's already kind of sharp as it is. There we go. Letting the contrast slider kind of add some more detail to it almost. And then afterwards, once I have them all in place, I can add these like additional cracks and stuff. I'll add more, but I'm gonna add just a few right now. I've talked about on stream before, like when you push a model to like the wow detail. That's what we're doing this last kind of 15 minutes here. I lost some of the neck volume. There we go. Ew. Again, I need to repose one of those legs, but not now. All right, I'm gonna just throw these on here and then move them around, get some variation, kind of see what type of spikeage I want. I'm actually gonna let it be totally identical at first. It's gonna look dumb, but it's the fastest way to make it not dumb. So we're gonna grab this, bend arc, bam, that's gonna handle that curve for us without me having to do it manually. And now I'm gonna take my Move Topological brush. Okay, that one kind of doubled up on it, and I don't want that. Go away. Delete hidden. And now Move Topological will make this pretty quick, where I can kind of like, at a very, very high Z intensity, grab and vary these spikes. And I'll kind of see if I find something that I like. I think I will. I think this is such a cool part of the design. That one kind of went rogue. I feel like this front spine is important, but it looks like it's coming out of its head like a unicorn. I think I want the spines towards the center of the back to be the tallest to, you know, complement that curve of the back. Looks very uncomfortable. Good. Very good. add a gentle curve to them to kind of match our camera angle here. Yeah. Sick. And then we'll probably go through, if I have time today, we'll see. And you can use this curve tube brush to lay additional pieces on top. They look like ribs, kind of like the same effect as the wings, without having to actually worry about the 3D printingness of it, because we have a material there. It's not just hollowed out. Picker closest to see. Yeah. Actually, I might be able to cut some of this out right here. It might actually work okay. I do have fur right there though, and it is kind of a hard spot to see on the model. As cool as it is, I think that might actually be an unwise spend of time for me right now. So instead, we'll go back to the tail. We're gonna take this, duplicate it. I realized I was about to spend like 30 minutes on a spot of the underbody of the model that nobody is gonna see. And it doesn't mean like if it's a less important part of the model, it's never worth doing. It absolutely can be. But also, like, maybe don't do that kind of detailing when you still have some more silhouette details to add. Always more silhouette details. And what do I mean by silhouette details? I literally mean like forms that you're adding that when you turn this pitch black, you can see. Come here. Why are you not doing the thing? There we go. So yeah, these details right here, when I turn it black and all silhouette, you can see it. So the same like little tendrils and stuff, you see it when I turn pitch black, silhouette details. They're really just secondary forms, but not all secondary forms are gonna be visible in silhouette. I am really pleased with how well these spikes are working without me having to manually sculpt every spike. I do need to add a little bit more of a curve to these ones though. Oh, it's been 30 minutes. Oh, I'm so close. Or no, it's been 15. Oh damn, I did that way faster than I thought. This is why I set a timer. I have like no concept of time when I'm working. I just get increasingly hungry and tired until I stop. True story. Another reason to be a fan of timers. It's not so you can just be a spaz and get as much done as you can. It's also so you can make sure you don't overwork yourself. Being in the zone is great, but being in the zone also can lend to some you ever like you're so hungry that it's like you're lightheaded when you cook? Nobody likes, like I hate when that happens, so I do my best to prevent that. Hey, what are you doing? No. I really like this tail. I also want to add, like these are also secondary forms that I'm adding right now. I want to add a little bit more variety. So it's not just this smooth, scratchy tube. And then here is one of my favorite things to add, which is like scars and like peeling flesh, that kind of stuff. I have a brush that kind of helps me base these out, because if I sculpt it by hand, I have to commit to that spot that I was at. But if I have it in the form of a brush, I can really quickly try things out. So I like to turn on Sculptris Pro, make my brush kind of small, scribble out a spot where I think I would like to try adding some peeling flesh, grab this brush, and I can kind of template it out. There we go. I can kind of, yeah, isn't that nice? I think that's gonna be a really good spot. I do want it to be really clear though. There we go. Nice. Nice. And then we have some rot we can add to the legs. Have a more of a diseased look instead of chicken. Though there's nothing wrong with chicken. I don't want that hawk-like feet to still be apparent. Yeah. Kind of add this more like plague-ridden look to it. Turn off subdivision levels. Find a spot I want to add detail to. Scribble on it with Sculptris Pro turned on. It will tessellate a bunch more geometry, which you can't see here, but you can see the before and after here, how that spot got darker. It's because there's more polys there. I don't like that one there. I think that would also be a good candidate for some healing flesh. Yeah, I think so. Nah, not that one. And then next to it, I can go in with my brush here and kind of add some direction of how those fibers are going to move. And what's really going to be fun at the end here is I can use my orb flatten brush and just flatten some sections here, and it's going to really make it look like bone, like chipped bone being visible. It's really cool. All right, are you doing the thing I want? Do that? That? There we go. So there's a combination for this to work. So you can add this kind of like chipped hard surface texture. So I'm doing that kind of right here. And then you can really bring more attention to it by using this craft brush. Kind of finding where I want these shapes to go. And then what really is going to sell it at the end is outlining anything that's going to be bone with flesh. See? Just that little like tube layer up goes so far. Why is this one plane? I have a very specific plane I want to grab here, and it's not grabbing. Right there. Come here. Yeah, I can just subdivide the whole thing. That'd probably make my life easier, wouldn't it? Ah, yes. ZBrush was like, I don't have enough polys to do what you're wanting. And I'm like, yeah, you can do it. I believe in you. Do your best. Kind of just toying out what that texture is going to feel like once I have gotten more done, but I'm gonna just keep bouncing around. Oh, it was 15 minutes and I didn't set a new timer and I immediately lost track of time. See, that's what happens. I totally abandoned the chat. I'll be with you guys shortly. How freaking fun and cool has this guy looked? Oh my god. I'm very pleased with myself on this one. Stop messing with it. Leave it alone. I'm gonna grab merge visible, grab this, get a fun render, and then I'll hang out with you guys for a bit. I mean, I guess we're already hanging out, but you know what I mean. Paying more attention. Yeah, I am so happy I did this on stream with y'all today without, you know, squirreling away afterwards and doing a bunch of stuff off stream. Okay, how are we doing? How are we doing? Otaka, I said maybe. Lightning bat would be cool. That could be cool, absolutely. Otaka said, oh, I thought you were gonna end the stream soon. Yeah, I did kind of have that tone of voice, didn't I? And then I was like, another hour. Oh no, sorry. Mod Squad's on their way to break your legs. This is kind of just how it goes. No! And Aloha is closer to being in your neck of the woods. They've already started walking your way. Slowly, but they'll be there. Oh, Catfish is back. Hello, welcome back, Catfish. A Geist of Terror. Yes. Send out notifications for the start of the streams. I missed them. I did, I thought. I said I was going to stream in an hour. Or do I need... Should I just do it, like, right before it happens, not 1 hour? Yeah, see, I did. At Tavern Peasant. Creature Sculpt stream in 1 hour. You're like, I'm more of like a right now kind of guy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Lo. By the end of it, I was like, it would have been easier to use ZSketch. Oh my fucking god. But that was fun. That was a good time. Damn, why do I get pinged? Because you probably don't have the Tavern Peasant role. There you are. I don't think so. You need to go to Rules and Roles. I will go ahead and bam. Rolls and Rolls, this is in Tavern Chronicles. Click on that, it'll bring you to this channel. You need to actually react with the Tavern Peasant right here, this little farmer. Be warned, Tavern Peasants get pinged for a lot. Events, updates, peasant activities, streams. Like, it's kind of a lot. I would never pick this role for myself even. I hate getting notifications. But I like including you guys, and I'd like for you to be involved. If you do have that role and you're still not getting a ping, then that has to do with your notifications on your phone or your desktop or Discord stuff. So yeah. Oops, that's not right. And that goes for anyone watching. If you're in our Discord and you're like, hey, I want to be a Tavern Peasant. Yeah, literally, you can just deem yourself peasant. And there you go. Peasant it up. I'm gonna scoot this up a little bit. Kind of get it in the frame a little better. Yeah. I'm pretty pleased with this. And during the stream, let's see, it's almost 4 o'clock, it's 3:41, started at 1, so what is that, almost 3 hours? I'll take that for 3 hours. Done. You are now peasant. Whatcha? Alright, I'm gonna take a screenshot of this, and that will be the end of the stream. This needs to get a little bit more work done on it because the legs look stupid. But other than that, looks pretty damn good. Really pleased with this. I think I kind of outdid myself when it comes to the head. Alright. Smile. Looks like I have no clothes on with my hair is over my shirt. I'm the only person who thinks that. Not that kind of stream. Okay, smile one more time, but very obviously clothed. There we go. Okay. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. This is a great time. Stay tuned. In Discord, I post. Oh, it had a stupid pop-up during that. How many times do I have to do this? Why is the divider telling me it exists? I'm out of smiles. I did it. There, see, or that's like mad smile. Whatever. Okay. I'm definitely that kid where it's just like smile, and I'm like, you got 3 seconds to get this picture before it's gone. I do not have infinite smile. Alright, let's get this edited. Always edit your screenshots, my fellow artists. Just bump up the sharpness and contrast a little bit. It makes a huge difference. It really does. And you look like professional. Bam. This looks so cool. Wanna print now? Okay, your printer's working for you again? It's being good? Sorry I sent the mod squad to break your legs. I thought I smelled panic. And then I realized when you're like, it sounded like you were ending the stream. I'm like, it did. It did. I was tired, and then But even if I was ending the stream, it's not done. I always work on it off stream. Yeah. This is fun. I'm gonna have a full meltdown when I have to sculpt all of our characters from our campaign, Otaka. I, unironically, do not want to sculpt some of y'all. Like, Naomi, it's an insane character. I have mixed feelings about mechs in Warforged as it is, which is very ironic because I play as one. But I don't really like sculpting them. And then she looks insane. So I'm just... one of our D&D characters that we play with, players, looks like their player character is an absolute monstrosity. She keeps buying and crafting cursed items, and like she has like a jester hat. Do I really need to say more than that? She has like multiple limbs. She has a tail. She's a warforged. It's gonna suck. Sorry, not sorry. I'll do it. I would totally pass that off to you. I really would. We joked about that. I don't know why this wasn't funny. My husband and I, we were walking into Walmart, and I don't know why it came up, but I was like, if I died, I'm like, what would you do? You know, because Ricky doesn't sculpt. And he's just like, I would just like hire an artist and pretend like it was still you. And I'm like, that would not work. And he's just like, I could ask Aloha. And I'm like, Aloha would disintegrate if you were like, cool, then make 5 finished models every week. Thanks. That's a lot. But yeah, if my art style ever looks a little different and you don't see me on streams, you guys know what happened. Oh. Oh my goodness. Alright, this is a super good time. If you are just joining the stream and you're like, wow, how did she sculpt that? Just rewind. I did it all on stream. Except for some parts of the wing, I guess. But not really. I pretty much did it all on stream. If you're like, well, how did you get these textures? I just used curved tube, and then right here is the default ZBrush brush called Organic. VDM Organic. And it has like scales on it. And that's really the only difference. Yeah. Would Aloha join us for D&D then too? I really think Aloha's voice sounds a little different than mine. It might be a little recognizable. Yeah, he would. I've never played D&D. That cannot be true. Right? Oh wait, I knew that. Hey, Duke's here. Yeah, I just got here. This is awesome. We'll definitely be watching this stream back. Yay, good. You can see when Otaka gives one suggestion and then the mods go and break his legs. It's a good time. Oh no, it's 2 suggestions. That's really why it happened. You know, it's really funny because it's Otaka's request. How dare you? All right, I'm just rambling. I am so hungry. I am going to go make like an entire pot of pasta and eat all of it. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Aloha has a podcast voice. I read that as podcast faces first, and I'm like, that's mean. And I'm like, you would never say that. Why did I think that? Okay, I need to end the stream before I say something that I regret. All right, you guys are fantastic. Have a lovely rest of your day. I will see you on Friday for another video game stream. I will be doing stuff in Tiny Glade. Not on this channel though, on an identical named channel called M3DM Gaming. I'll tell you in Discord. Okay, get out.